It's neurodisruptors, yes, but also too it's endocrine disruptors. The foods nowadays are laced with neuroendocrine disruptor foods. So what I'm going to do is Hello everyone, this is Dr. Jawad. If you're watching this on YouTube, thank you very much for watching my channel. If you haven't done so already, please hit the subscribe button down below. And next to it is the bell notification. When you hit that, I try to upload videos weekly, depending on my crazy schedule. You will first be notified. If you're watching on Facebook, thank you very much. If you haven't done so already, please hit the like button down below. And if you find this information valuable, please share with a friend. Thank you very much. I got an email the other day from one of my patients, and she's very concerned because she has hypothyroid, and I'm working with her to regain the function of her thyroid again. And she hears all these endocrine disruptors foods that are out there, and she's kind of curious on what the heck is a endocrine disruptor food and how can she better clean up her diet. So I'm going to go in this video just my top 6 endocrine disruptor foods that you need to stay away from and be more aware of because they're out there everywhere. And what is an endocrine disruptor? Basically, it's any pollutant that interrupts the normal biological pathways in an organism. Now, how that pertains to you is that the organism being your body, and that pathway could be anything from hormones to your digestive system. Now, again, what is the endocrine system? The endocrine system is basically your hormonal system. We have certain receptors throughout our body that signal these organs to release chemicals, okay? It could be your pancreas releasing insulin. It could be your adrenals, again, releasing the mineralocorticoids, cortisol. It could be your ovaries. It could be your testes. There's a lot of hormones that are being released and processed through our body, and endocrine disruptors interrupts that pathway due to the foods. Now, the problem is the foods today are loaded with chemicals, and I want you to be important with identifying just 6 foods that I'm just going to go over that you could, if you could stay away from, it will better your body. So, number 1, in no particular order, soy. Okay, soy, back in the days, I want to say about early 1980s, please don't correct me with all the comments down below. Soy in the early 80s got modified, okay? Why to stay away from soy? Because 90% of soy is GMO, it's genetically modified organisms. And they contain what's called phytoestrogens. And what is a phytoestrogen? A phytoestrogen is basically an insulin mimicker. And it mimics insulin, which leads to, if you're a woman trying to stabilize your thyroid function or your gut function, it leads to estrogen dominance. If you're a male and you're taking in all these soy products, then what's going to happen, it's going to increase your male estrogen, which is in turn going to lower the testosterone. And as a man, you don't want that. You're going to get man boobs, for one, and no man wants man boobs. So, but where's all this hidden in? It's hidden in a lot of soy proteins, a lot of protein bars, a lot of baby formulas. And why they use it? Because it's cheap. It's a cheap ingredient to use. So you want to watch the labels. Now, if you're going to eat soy, my recommendation is always organic or fermented soy if you want to eat soy, or just avoid it altogether. Next, we cook this every single day, and that's vegetable oil. You gotta watch out with the vegetable oil. Why? Because it's made with all GMO crops, okay? Like corn oil, soy oil, canola oil. Those are deadly, and those all are considered the bad fats. So what oil do you want to choose to cook with is, again, your olive oil, your coconut oil, your avocado oil. Just those are my top 3s off the top of my head to choose from, for a better alternative. Now, number 3, GMO. This is deadly, okay? GMO foods, that's basically, it stands for genetically modified organisms. And what it is that those are all living organisms whose genetic material has been artificially manipulated in a laboratory through genetic engineering. Now, the good news is with GMO foods is that they could feed masses, okay, through laboratory replication. So what this does, it creates a combination of plant, animal, bacteria, and virus genes that do not naturally occur in nature or through traditional crossbreeding methods. It's all artificial, and the body does not like artificial stuff. The body will always, always, always return to what it wants as normal. Remember about 30, 40 years ago when, actually 30 years ago, when butter was actually deemed bad and margarine was a safe alternative? Now we have it later on, well actually butter, butyric acid, is good for you, okay, from grass-fed cows, and I always promote Kerrygold butter as a brand, or cultured butter, because that's from grass-fed cows, and butter, butyric acid, is good for the gut. And today, most packaged foods contain ingredients derived from corn, soy, canola, and sugar beet, and that vast majority of those are the crops grown in the North America, they're all genetically modified. This is why corn and wheat has so many issues, and this is how we all came up with this, this caused this gluten sensitivity. Now, I'm old. I'm 40 years old. I was born in 1971, and I remember when bread was good for you. And this is when I'm talking to my patients, or when I'm discussing this, anything, again, post-1985, post-1990s, bad. Pre-1985 is good because, again, all this GMO wasn't so vast, okay, across the nation. So this is why we have this is why, again, stay away from GMO foods. So the solution is, this is where it's important to read the labels, okay, for non-GMO. Now, number 4, very important, stay away from foods that are sprayed with different pesticides. There's this pesticide that's called organophosphate pesticides. That's like the new breed now. And the thing about this, it's designed to destroy the nervous system of the bugs. So this is why we have such a beautiful crop at our store. If you go into whatever supermarket you go to, look at the combination between, again, non-organic and organic, and it's a big difference. It's a big difference. Now, if this organophosphate pesticide is used to destroy the nervous system in bugs, imagine, I always ask, imagine what it's going to do to the nervous system in humans. Now, what they've done, researchers have noted that in small countries, they brought in this pesticide to use on their crops, these small countries. And what they found, the researchers found, is that the neurological disorders in their young and their elderly has skyrocketed. So again, the solution, buy organic. This will help you out. Number 5, conventional dairy. This is your milk, this is your cheese, your yogurt. My personal recommendation is stay away from the dairy as much as possible. Why? Because the dairy nowadays is contaminated the source. You have the cows, you have them injected with estrogen pumps, growth hormone, bovine growth hormone, sorry. Instead of feeding them grass, they're feeding them grain, which grain causes, again, sickness, so they have to inject them with antibiotics, okay, and that's what it is at the source. A study was done, and they found over 22 different chemicals just in the conventional milk. So my solution is, if you're going to go with dairy, make sure it's grass-fed or pasture-raised cows, or I always just recommend just go with almond milk or coconut milk if you are a milk drinker, okay? Last is artificial sweeteners. Artificial sweeteners, yes, they're toxin, neurotoxin, endocrine disruptors toxin. They're everywhere, and they will cause neurological disorders. And the thing about that, it disrupts the brain function. Also, it disrupts the hormones as well. Now, I did a previous video called the pregnenolone steal, and that is really the connection of how cholesterol synthesizes the hormones. And when you're taking in these endocrine disruptors, that also interrupts that pathway. So you're not making all the hormones from the cholesterol. So my best bet is to stay away from the artificial sweeteners as much as you can. Switch over to sugar, but again, still modify. You don't want to do too much sugar, because I've done other videos on how excess amounts of sugar, how that's harmful to the system. Alright, so hope you enjoyed the video. Please share with a friend. Please subscribe down below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.